Right around 2004 was when we were getting increasing numbers of calls for YMCAs wanting to engage newcomers in their programs and in their offerings. We then went under a departmental strategic planning process where we went out and talked to multiple stakeholders. And one of the key learnings that came out of that process was the need to begin looking at international and moving away from international as overseas outside of our borders, and really looking at the global nature of our world, but the global nature of the communities that many of the YMCAs were serving. We knew that as much as we wanted to do nationally, if we didn't have the innovation and connections with the local associations, we would not get the traction that we needed.
What we also need to determine is a broader organizational change model, and that became what is now our 6 areas of opportunity. So we knew if we were going to create permanence in the transformation, we needed to influence the way YMCAs thought about inclusion through their core operational areas. So membership growth, program innovation, leadership development, both staff and volunteers, collaboration, work with our financial development teams through resource mobilization, and then how we talk about the YMCA, so the brand and visibility. So that became the seed for our Global Centers of Excellence network, which is now the Diversity Inclusion Global Innovation Network.
Community leaders broke bread at the YMCA's Thanksgiving Fellowship Breakfast. This year's event resonated especially after one of the most divisive election seasons.
Rochester has the highest deaf population per capita in the United States, and a new ASL boot camp at the Eastside YMCA is a big help to those looking to get fit.
You know, many think the YMCA as a place to take swim lessons and gymnastics classes or just work out, but there's so much more. And starting today, the 100-year-old organization will celebrate Welcoming Week, which is a national initiative seeking to bring immigrants, refugees, and native-born residents together.
Our communities are going through unprecedented transitions right now. There are demographic changes, and we still live in communities that are often very fragmented across racial, ethnic, religious, and other dimensions of diversity. The DIG strategy helps build the knowledge and the cultural competencies of YMCA staff and volunteers to better understand the unique needs and interests of each of these different parts of our community, and then come up with strategies to make sure that our existing programs or future programs are inclusive of the different needs that each of these communities expresses.
Well, we looked at what the DIG strategy was asking us to do, and it made us take a critical look at how we do business. And part of it was looking at the community. So one of the things that came out in particular was the community mapping. So we took a look at all 14 branches that we have and what communities were around those branches, and to see if we were serving that population in the correct way.
It's almost like an aha, or there's an awakening that's taking place within a lot of our staff, recognizing that maybe the traditional models or ways in which we've been doing things actually isn't equitable or isn't culturally relevant.
I feel that we're becoming a more welcoming and inclusive organization, and you're already being able to see the change in the demographics, not only on our staff team and our board roster, but also as far as the people who are coming through our doors and participating in our programs.
More and more society is looking to nonprofits like the Y to address incredibly complex issues facing our communities. The DIG strategy has prepared us for this role. We're able to effectively respond to social issues rather than just react to them.
We know that children cannot learn or thrive cognitively, physically, or emotionally unless they have nutrition, proper meals.
New at 6, some help is on the way for homeless families in the greater Portland area. The YMCA is opening a day center to provide shelter and community support.
By the time the Y is through, nearly 1,000 children will know how to survive in the water.
And more than 50 high school seniors were recognized tonight during the 38th annual Black Achievers Banquet. The event honors local students who have dedicated their Saturday mornings to learning about different professions and developing a post-high school plan. This year, 55 seniors were recognized and awarded a total of more than $1 million in college scholarships.
I think the DIG network is really illuminated a very simple equation, which is diversity, inclusion, global strategies results in equity as an outcome.
The Diversity, Inclusion, and Global Innovation Network are living their social responsibility efforts every day, modeling it. It's allowed them to move from the more charitable lens of social responsibility into the equity lens, addressing, again, the most pressing needs of their communities, whether that be in education equity, whether that be in health equity, and race equity. Our YMCAs are really moving in that direction.
The DIG strategy is an equity strategy because it strengthens our capacity to address the root causes of inequity. It provides relevant support systems to historically underserved and marginalized populations.
We say that we are for all the time, and that requires us to do everything that we can to make sure that our programs and services, employment opportunities are available to every member of our community. And so we make a serious commitment to access and equity.
In 10 years, my hope is that the DIG strategy is foundational for how all Ys operate and serve their communities.
The YMCA DIG Innovation Network will be playing a lead role in helping to raise exponentially more philanthropic support for the global YMCA movement.
The network is intentional with providing young Y professionals of color with opportunities to lead. My hope is that these opportunities continue to grow so that our pipeline of next generation social inclusion champions is always full.
So I think it's going to be a very important piece of redefining membership and redefining the role of Ys in the community over the course of the next couple of decades.
As a movement, as more and more of our demographics are changing more rapidly throughout the United States, how might we engage our communities differently? How might we begin to think differently about how we organize our work and organize our supports? And how might we increase our opportunities for membership through collaborative approaches and through community engagement?
We are a beacon of light and hope, and where people want to come to a Y because they're blown away by when you walk in the door, where, oh my gosh, I don't really get to go anywhere, where I can see such diverse people coming together in celebration and in brotherhood and sisterhood in a way that I very much believe that our country and our communities are truly calling for.
The Y has a long history of developing pioneering solutions, and the DIG Innovation Network stands out for its impact on society. Only 10 years ago, this network was just a bold idea for addressing changing communities at home and abroad. We asked Ys to work differently, to intentionally infuse inclusion and global practices into key areas of their operations. And today, DIG Innovation Ys continue to set the bar and lead the movement in advancing equity for all.
If it was not for the DIG heroes that have led this work, that have inspired each other, and have pushed the conversation to new heights, we wouldn't be where we are in terms of an organization that is truly understanding what its responsibility is to build the foundations of community and to be for all.
Thank you all for having been part of this incredible journey.